Tony and Jennifer, yeah, wants to empower your family about franchise.
It really is a no-brainer. In fact, I'm getting ready to talk myself into getting another group or two because I'm so excited about that.
Hello, everybody. It's Tony Harris Taylor and
San Diego. Then you ran me down here in Dallas, so I had.
TJIF show, TJIF show, TJIF show, TJIF show, yeah.
we got a theme song in a video opening.
Theme. Oh my goodness gracious. I love it. I had not seen the final product of the intro. That is amazing, Tony. I love that. I'm sitting here like, I absolutely love it.
So I surprised Jennifer with that opening montage. She had heard the song but not seen the opening. In fact, I got with my girl last night. I said, "Can you get this done by the morning?" And she got it done overnight. That's amazing. I'm so glad.
Okay. So what's so funny about this is I pinged Tony last night. I said, "Tony, how are we opening? What are we doing with the opening?" She said, I got a surprise for you. So I'm like, oh gee. I don't do well with surprises. So that was amazing.
Well, we're going to play it again at the end in case you missed it, but we have a theme song.
We got a theme song. We got a theme song.
Welcome to the TJIF. Tony and Jennifer introduces franchising.
Welcome.
Yay, we're excited. We got so many great things going on. How was your week?
It was good. You know, I was looking at our guest invite. We are booked almost through July of guests.
Yes.
Powerful guests.
Yeah.
On the show.
Speaking of powerful guests, I had a great one-to-one with Kathleen Munson, the immediate past president of IFH, 2 years in a row because of COVID. Right. This woman is powerful. And we had an amazing, short, powerful conversation. And she is going to be on the show July 10th.
Yay, us. So that's going to be so exciting.
Yeah. So then we're going to the IFA Customer Experience Conference.
Yes, that's going to be held here in Atlanta. Tony's coming back to Atlanta. So we're going to be at the IFA Customer Experience, IFA FCXC.
They're very good. And so we are excited to work that room. And the reason we are going, another announcement, the Network in Action franchisor has created a vendor preferred program. And so we are going there to introduce franchisors to NIA as a preferred vendor for their franchise owners. So exciting. So much is happening.
I know so much is happening. So you asked me, how was my week, right? So my week was amazing, Tony. So the last time, I don't think I shared this the last time. I launched my first article with Franchise Dictionary magazine. Amazing. Yes, so I'm one of the staff writers for Franchise Dictionary magazine now. So I'll be providing monthly content.
That is phenomenal.
It's just amazing. It's going to be amazing. Yeah.
What's up with J3?
J3. Oh my God. J3. So we have launched our partnership with Self-Esteem Brands.
I watched the interview last night.
Yes. So Self-Esteem Brands, if you don't know Self-Esteem Brands, here's what it looks like. Self-Esteem Brands has 4 brands under its umbrella. Bar Method, Waxing the City, Anytime Fitness, and another one that they're launching pretty soon that's in the franchise space. What's so amazing with self-esteem brands is that they are building the culture and the strategy around reaching more African American franchise business owners. They have partnered with J3, which I'm a part of, to exclusively work with them on locating and identifying and qualifying these candidates. We are so excited about that.
I love that. I love that. So I saw Tony's interview, and it was so powerful and impactful. And in fact, today our guest is going to talk about diversity initiatives around her brand as well. So I'm just excited. We have so many positive irons in the fire.
Yes.
Wait, you guys, just hold on, stick with us, and share this, by the way.
Share.
Yes, so that your community can see what we have going on, because we want to bring franchising to all communities, but in particular to the diverse spaces. On that note, I want to invite you to download our free gift, 7 Steps to Franchise Ownership. Go to tjifshow.com, fill out the quick little form, download that free gift, and then get in touch with us. We would love to help you to understand and explore what's possible in franchising.
That's right.
All right, well, let's bring our guest.
Excited about our guest.
Yes, let's bring her to the stage. We met her at IFA. And so Kathleen Gosser is I'll let her describe who she is.
Yeah.
She's got some great energy, so I'm going to bring her to the stage, Miss Dr. Kathleen Gosser of Louisville. Welcome, lady.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Did you like our theme song?
It was amazing. It was really great. Congratulations.
I saw you in the background bopping.
Yep. Yes.
So Kathleen, share with our audience, introduce yourself and share with the audience, please.
Well, thank you both for having me. I so appreciate it. So I'm actually at the University of Louisville. I'm the Yum Assistant Professor of Franchise Management, as well as the Director of the Yum Center for Global Franchise Excellence here in the College of Business at the University of Louisville. And so we really focus on franchise education. And I'll talk about that in a bit, but we have it at 3 levels: graduate, undergraduate, and then a non-credit boot camp for those who maybe aren't interested in college credit, but still want to learn about the franchising industry. And we really focus, our center focuses on bringing education and research to the forefront with a special focus on people of color and women. So I think that's why you probably asked me on your show to talk more about all that.
That's right. That's right. We did. And so you got started, you were with Yum Brands.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so tell us how you transitioned from Yum into your current role and how that you're able to seamlessly translate or bring those skill sets forward into the current role.
Jennifer, that is such an interesting question. And I'm often asked that because I call this my encore career. And an encore is what? When you go to a concert, what type of songs are in the encore? If I asked you that question.
The most common.
Or the best, right? The most common, the best, the ones you all know. So to me, an encore career is the best career. And I had a wonderful career. I always say I have a career that dreams were made of at Yum Brands. So I spent 35 years there. Never dreamt I would do that in a myriad of different roles. But the last one I had was the Director of Learning and Development. And so really had a chance to understand what it takes to train a humongous audience and what that looks like, and got very well versed in e-learning, had a fabulous team. It really was wonderful. Also had a chance to be the chair of the KFC Foundation, which gives back to their team members, and a host of other things. But I always knew that I wanted to be a college professor in my encore career. So along the way, Yum was very supportive of their employees and still continue to be of getting continuing education. So earned an MBA, then decided, well, my husband said, you should get a PhD. I said, you're crazy. And then I did it. So after that, I started teaching at night. And, timing tends to really work well for a lot of people, obviously, if you're ready for it, but also there is something to timing. And when I was ready to retire in 2019, the year prior, a colleague of mine, Dr. Denise Cumberland, and I were asked to put together this curriculum at the graduate level. And then they needed somebody to lead it. So they asked me to come on board.
Mhm.
So I started U of L at the same time I actually retired, but I had been teaching one class a night for about 8 years to get experience. So I always tell people, whatever you want to do next, always have a plan B and be working toward it, because you can't just suddenly retire and say, okay, I'm here, hire me. You have to have some type of skill set to get you there. So the timing worked out really well. And then the YUM component, which we'll talk about in a moment, also was some of that was timing as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So can you clarify who YUM is?
Oh,
'Cause
yes.
I know it's common. Well, it's now common to me. I didn't know who it was either. Who is
Yes.
YUM?
So Yum Brands, they actually are the largest restaurant franchisor in the world. So they have KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and have recently acquired Habit Burger Grill. So they have 4 brands underneath Yum Brands. KFC is the number 1 brand globally. Taco Bell is the number 1 brand just domestically here in the US. And that was just recently identified by Entrepreneur Magazine. So they are a powerhouse with outstanding franchisees driven towards growth and opportunity.
Awesome. Awesome. So how did you become passionate about diversity in franchising?
So, Tony, that is a good question. So being a female and understanding what it was like to work in a franchise system, obviously some of that was personal to me, but also so many wonderful people I've met along the world and around the world. One of the best parts of Yum Brands is how they embrace diversity and really differences at all levels. And that really helped me grow an appreciation. And I also realized, you see all the data all the time about when you have diverse people at the top, you have better business outcomes, et cetera. I saw it though. I felt it. I witnessed it in different organizations. And also understanding that there's a need in franchising. And in franchising, there are really 3 barriers. One is awareness. So many people just don't understand what franchising is. Then the education. Franchisors will teach you how to make their product, but they won't teach you the business model. And then the third is capital. I can help you on the first 2. Now, I don't have a bank behind me, but I can help you figure out how to get that capital. But so it's really exciting to be able to help others see their dreams and really change the trajectory of their family's wealth.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So let's pivot into the program at U of L. And talk about that. I want to hear all about that. Some of the successes you've realized as well.
Yes, of course. So we started this education at the graduate level, and we quickly realized, many people in franchising started in franchising, and they simply don't have a bachelor's degree to help them get a graduate certificate. So we pivoted the content to a non-credit version, which we affectionately call the boot camp. And it's called a boot camp because it's intense, 6 weeks of intense learning. But it has really worked well for many people who just want to understand the franchise model. What are the pros and cons? What is this franchise disclosure document? What does a franchise agreement look like? How do I build a team, HR infrastructure, et cetera? And there are things that are not taught by the franchisor. And so we look at it through the franchisee lens. And from there, we pivoted to the undergraduate. And I have 3 undergraduate courses with a 4th in the making. We're working on a certificate there as well. And that's been an unbelievable sweet spot. These undergraduate students had no idea what franchising was. They thought it was a fast food restaurant, and opening their eyes to the possibility. And fast food restaurants are great. I love them. But there are so many possibilities in franchising, and fast food restaurants are expensive, but so many of these other options you can get into. That has been, to me, really thrilling to create that awareness and knowledge of this model with these undergraduates who just seem to love it.
Yeah.
That's great. So with the boot camp, would that be appropriate for someone who was entertaining buying a franchise and wanted to know a little bit more about, what does this mean? What does it mean for me and my family? How can I present myself as a leader? Is that the appropriate place for them? Is the boot camp program?
Oh, yes. It's 100% designed for maybe a working professional, someone in the industry already who really wants to learn more about the franchise model. And it will give them a 6-week accelerated introduction and knowledge about what they're getting into. So that was the whole purpose of that. And we've partnered with the International Franchise Association. So they have a credential as well. And so you get credits towards their credential with our boot camp.
Great. That's
Okay.
amazing.
That is really good. I would like to know more about the boot camp myself. So let's go ahead with the credentialing of IFA, which is the CFE program. Is that right?
That's correct.
And what role do you play in the CFE program?
So the CFE program is a wonderful credential that requires education, participation, and experience. And I actually sit on their board of governors. So I help them as a board member advise their direction. But they work with a number of partners who provide credits toward education, and we're one of those. So they require a certain number of educational credits, and you can get quite a few with our boot camp because of the intensity of it. They audit their partners, they make sure that the content is up to speed, and they really do a fantastic job.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was such a thing till I went to IFE. And what I understand, IFA, I'm sorry. What I understand is once you go through CFE, it's like a master's in franchising.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yes.
Jennifer, we might need to sign up, girl.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Do it together. We have to do it together, though. Not
That's right. That's
But
right. Do it together.
do it together.
The good news is you've already earned credits because you have experience and you've attended the IFA events. So some of it's participation in events, some of it's experience, and the remainder is education. So you already, both of you are on your way.
Okay. I put some letters behind my name.
Say no more. Say no more.
Awesome.
So, and Kathleen, you also attended the Latino Franchise Symposium.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Oh my goodness. That is a once a year offering that is just fantastic. And it is focused on Latinos who are interested in franchising. And they had just the most wonderful speakers. We talked about our center. Wanda Williams was there from Yum Brands, who is the sponsor of our center. And so we also heard from like the Small Business Administration. Oh my goodness, this guy told the most heart-wrenching story about why franchising is important. And when I say that, he talked about his father who had a welding business and was just unbelievably successful within his private business and just had done so much. And then when he passed away, no one in the family knew how to run it. There was no franchise opportunity. All of his information actually died with him. And the saddest part was he talked about holding an auction of his father's business. And it was just heartbreaking because you think about if he had franchised that, if he had franchised his knowledge, his business model would have been successful. They would have had that generational wealth. So I was so moved by this speaker. I mean, it was pretty incredible. But they had a few very successful franchisees speak, and they had about 100 people there in Dallas. Yum hosted it for them, and it's a wonderful conference. And the really cool part, it was free. I mean, they offered it free to anyone that wanted to come. We had one of our students, one of our Hispanic students was on the panel speaking as well. She was an MBA student that just graduated.
Wow.
Amazing. I saw that come across on my LinkedIn and I was like, this is an amazing event. But it was Yum sponsored and they're in Dallas. So I couldn't make it, but I thought, wow.
Yes.
So I was excited to have you on the show to give us that recap of that event.
It was really great. And it's co-sponsored with a Latin magazine. So they have a big part of it too. And I'm kicking myself for not remembering that name. That's what happens when you're in your encore career and you're a tad older. Jorge is the person who we worked with as well. I want to give a shout out to him. He works really hard on that.
Okay. Is there anything in the works, do you know, for the African American population?
I don't know. And that's a really interesting question. So I know there is a Black Leadership Council at the IFA that I definitely want to get more involved in. So, but it seems like there should be, because there are just so many successful African American franchisees. And I know we saw one on stage at the IFA, and Shaq, wasn't he something? That was
amazing.
that was really, yes, that was really fun to watch. And so there are just so many success stories who could be a part of that.
Well, I am one, and
Yes.
Jennifer is one. And
Yes.
so we will speak at any event that you all want to put on around African American.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
you just spearhead the thing, and we got your back, girl.
We need to do that. That would be definitely something that would be inspiring.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yes, yes.
So we'll talk more about that for sure and make that happen.
Yes, that sounds
That's what
great.
we're all about.
So we make franchising, so far, I've made franchising look easy for people who've come behind me, and we know it's not easy. So what are some of the challenges that you have seen franchisees experience? And if they had just known in advance, it would have saved them.
That's a great question, Tony. And I talk to my undergraduates about this all the time. And one of the things, and it's interesting because a couple of them have said franchising is not for me for this one reason. If you are not able to follow someone else's business model, if you are just too entrepreneurial and you just want to do everything yourself, franchising is not for you. So I have worked with franchisees in the past who, for example, we used to have a buffet at KFC. And while I appreciate homemade recipes, I do. And I appreciate, grandma's banana pudding that you want to put on the buffet. When you're in a franchise, you can't do that, because one of the beauties of a franchise is consistency. So if I go to your franchise and you have that awesome pudding, I go to someone else's and they don't, well, I'm disappointed. So that model doesn't allow for that. What it does allow for, though, is for you to share your great ideas upward, because franchisors want to hear from franchisees to make things better. But if you're not able to follow a lesson plan, so to speak, a business model, then it probably isn't the right place for you. So I've seen franchisees stumble there.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot. I also see a misunderstanding of what do royalties pay for. So really laying that out, and the support they pay for is typically laid out in item 11 of the FDD, but having that really strong conversation about this is what your royalties cover and this is what they don't. I think having that up front could help with a lot of uncomfortable conversations. When I was quite junior, franchisees would say, well, you should just do that for me because that's what my royalties pay for. Well, quite frankly, I didn't know. I was too junior to know, and I didn't want to create an issue. So I would just bypass it, not have the conversation, right? Avoid it. And that didn't do anyone any good. So I think really understanding what are you getting for the royalty payment, your franchise fee, what can you expect, would stop a lot of the dissension and concerns that you have. And I think lastly, just understanding the whole franchising world is one big relationship. Everything's built on relationships, and really getting to know each other and helping each other out makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely.
I agree. And this information has been just amazing. And I love, Kathleen, I can't share enough about my excitement over the program you all have over there at the university. And let me just tell you, when I left my childhood home and went to college, the marching orders, if you will, that I had from my parents, okay, graduate from college and go and work for corporate and retire. So I wish that I had the opportunity to tap into a program like that earlier in my career. So with that being said, are you able to increase the footprint of your program through partnerships with other universities, maybe HBCUs, to offer the program to them as well?
So Jennifer, we are on that road now, to your point. And before I go into that, the one really interesting statistic right now is the growth of franchising within the millennials. Millennials are taking off because they want to be their own boss, but they want a business model.
That's
So
right.
you're right on to something. So we just had a partnership with Howard University. Yum Brand sponsored a Yum Franchise Accelerator, which you will see more coming out about that. But we partnered with Howard. We took 6 Howard students, 4 U of L. This was at the MBA level, and I worked with a wonderful professor over there, Dr. Uwe Ferguson, who was just amazing. So the two of us worked together with Wanda to create this. And what it was is we provided education. So all of the education we have on franchising, they had experience. Wanda's team provided them with a mentor in the field, as well as field visits. They also had a visit with our largest franchisee, Mike Culp, who has just been an incredible benefactor of this program out in Kansas City. Then we had a trip to Washington, a trip to Louisville, and then they actually participated in a Shark Tank, and we're getting ready to announce those winners. We had 2. Yes, we had 2 who Mike Culp is going to hire into his organization, train them, then carve out up to 5 restaurants that he will sell to them, and they'll become franchisees.
That is amazing.
Because as Yum says, one restaurant is a job. You need more to actually establish generational wealth.
That's right.
But we want to continue this. We also have had conversations just 2 weeks ago about how can we reach out to other HBCUs and really share our content and be partners with them, because this is a wonderful way to build and sustain generational wealth.
I agree. I agree. And the sooner you get in front of those folks, the better. I think that is amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
It was a lot of fun.
Tony, did you have any closing words for Kathleen?
Yes. So, Kathleen, thank you so much. Your wisdom is priceless. I'm glad you didn't choose to retire and sit down on the couch and eat bonbons, that you decided to take your passion and, extend it to our communities. And so we are very grateful for that. And will you be at the event in Atlanta?
I will not, but if I could mention one more thing.
Sure.
Yes.
And it's probably another plug for Yum Brands. During the time that we had of civil unrest and the tragedies and the murders that we saw, Yum Brands saw that as an opportunity to make a difference and level the playing field. So they committed $100 million around the world to level the playing field. And our center, the Yum Center for Global Franchise Excellence, was one of those recipients. And our whole purpose is to build and is to grow the knowledge and the research around franchising to really help people of color and women. And I applaud them and appreciate their generosity. And many other companies want to do kind of the same thing. So I think our time is now.
I was going to
agree.
We are at the right time.
Yes.
It's our time.
And that's evident by what Yum Brands is doing, and SCB, all of the brands that are having those poising themselves with that strategic and bold leadership, right?
Correct.
It is amazing. Yeah.
And you combine that corporate desire with universities like the University of Louisville that really want to make a difference as well and focus on those populations. It's just, oh gosh, magic can happen.
Magic can happen. I love it. Well, this has been amazing.
Yes, we knew it would be when we met you. We knew it would be. So we will, our phones, call us, reach out to us. If we can support you in any way with these initiatives, that would be amazing. So
you can count on it.
Sit in the background while we close out the show. We'll be right back with you, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank
you so much.
And her wonderful, wonderful stories. All right. So, Kathleen, I'm the technical director back here as well.
She's got a lot of magic going on back there. That was amazing.
Yeah, she's beautiful. And I knew her spirit was that when
we met her at IFA.
Yeah.
We just hit it off. Yeah.
So I'm excited. So you put a link in chat.
Let me
talk about that.
Another link. So I will be speaking at the HBCU Business Conference on June 28th. I will be talking about franchise business ownership. to alumni and undergrads of HBCUs. So I am excited about that opportunity. So I put the link in the chat for
It's
you.
virtual.
It is virtual. It is
Oh,
virtual,
my
and
girl
it's free. I've
Lydia.
secured a number of tickets.
Okay.
So please sign up or reach out to me, and I can help you with that enrollment.
Okay. And then my girl Lethea Owens is speaking. So that's
Yes, she is.
powerful.
She
You all
is.
will
We're so
love her.
excited. Yeah. So
Awesome.
what do you have on tap? What do you have coming up? And I
I'm
know we
preparing.
have something together that we're doing as well. So we'll talk about that in a few.
Well, I'm going to say I'm preparing to come to Atlanta. So
Yes.
Scott is working on all of that and pulling that together. What else you talking about?
And then we have George Frazier, the Power Networking Conference.
Oh, yes. Let me put that, you talk about it while I put the link in.
Yes. So Tony and I will be speakers at the 2022 Power Networking Conference in Houston, Texas, August 3rd through the 5th. We have discounted tickets. We will be speaking on franchising, but there will be a host of topics to build you as a business and allow you to connect with individuals, powerhouse individuals, to grow your network. So we would love to see you at the Power Networking Conference in 2022 that is facilitated, organized by the Dr. George Frazier.
So speaking of Dr. Frazier, the African American leaders of NIA are putting on an event as well. And so it's called Next Level Networking for Diversity. I should have been more prepared to share the flyer, but hey, I can't do it all.
And I haven't been trained.
Here it is. I got
She
it.
has it. She has it.
So I'm going to share the screen. You know, we never did that before on the show. So I'm
That's
going to
right. Oh my.
and I'm going to do share screen, and I am going to choose, and there we are. So this event, let's see, there we go.
There we go.
So this event is Next Level Networking for Diversity, Tuesday, June 21st. Listen, everybody wants to be global, so you have to deal with time zones. So it's 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, 4:30 Mountain, and 3:30 Pacific. And Dr. George Frazier is going to be a guest speaker at this event as well. We are calling all business owners who are African American, minorities, but African American specifically, to come talk networking with us. One of the things with I feel is we missed the mark on is building those key relationships. We're so busy grinding in our business, we're not working on the business by getting relationships. So register, it's free. Come do some networking, as well as learn how we can help you to grow your business with Network in Action.
Yay.
So,
and Tony, we have a little bit of an active chat here. Ricky
okay.
Smith is saying great information. I think this is relating to Kathleen's comments. Same advice a lot of us got. I wish I had known there were options earlier when we were talking about earlier being exposed to franchise business ownership. And Ricky says, as a mom of 2 HBCU grads, I'm thrilled to hear about this. This is amazing.
Yay.
Rose
Shout out
sends
to
us,
Ricky.
yes,
Ricky
and
was
Rose
one of
sends us hearts, and she says 100.
Yay.
So thank you all for the comments. We're just glad to bring the information forward. And like we said, we're on tap with speakers through July, and we'll be continuing to bring value information like this. So please share with your networks. We want to increase our audience, and we want to make sure we're reaching the masses.
Yes, very good. Well, I'm going to take us out with our our new theme song. In case you missed it at the beginning, here it is again. This is Tony Harris Taylor
and Jennifer Callender
introducing franchising for today,
tomorrow, and
forever.
Forever, you all. Bye.
Tony and Jennifer, yeah, wants to empower your family about franchise.
It really is a no-brainer. In fact, I'm getting ready to talk myself into getting another group or two because I'm so excited about that.
Hello, everybody. It's Tony Harris Taylor and
San Diego. Then you ran me down here in Dallas. So I had
TJIF show. TJIF